Rarely will you have seen me so pissed off, but literally this is just an instrument of torture. And in this video there is a hint about what my new car is, and just see if you can figure it out. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode on the irrepressible Influenzo. And I do definitely believe that this car is looking out for my best interests and is just determined to give me as much YouTube material as possible, because nothing is seems to be ever straightforward. So I left you last time having rebuilt the carbs, which made very little difference to the way it was running at the top end. It was a bit cleaner at the bottom end, had a couple of issues, but sorted those out. But at the top end, still not running right. In actual fact, probably running slightly worse than it was before, which is really concerning. I cannot work out why. Took out my friend Anton for a quick drive as well, and basically I don't know, didn't know what it was. So it was all pointing to the timing of one of the cams maybe being off by a tooth. So you will see here, cam covers, a little bit more laborious to take out than any normal car. But in any case, got those out. Was really hopeful that one of the cams would be misaligned, but they're not. All the timing marks correspond perfectly. So first piston, the firing order, it starts with this one here. This is piston number 1. The flywheel timing mark, which I have double checked on the manual a few times, dead on center. All the cams, all the marks line up absolutely perfectly. So the cams are not, I repeat, are not mistimed, which frankly was heartbreaking because I was sure that would be the easy fix. However, all is not lost. There are still a few upsides here. I haven't found the source of the problem, but the engine looks in really good order, so the cams don't look particularly worn. Everything looks all right. What's really good news is that there is absolutely no trace of water in the oil. Taken some oil out as well from the sump, checked it, looked at it, and as you can see, the engine itself is in great shape. So have to assume that what happened with that vent is simply that's the highest point in the engine. That's where any of the moisture accumulates, which is why it is actually built like that. And obviously with a little bit of oil mist, it can turn into that sludge because it's this time of the year especially. When I carried on running it afterwards, it did clear up. There was still a little bit at the very top, but it did clear up. So that is a big, big, big relief. Secondly, I've got the covers off now, and I'm going to clean them right up and possibly paint them with some aluminium enamel paint as well, depending on how well they clean up. So that will really smarten up the engine bay. So that's brilliant. Secondly, there is one more thing that I need to check, and that I can check with that off. That is the valve clearances. Now, I have already checked just at top dead center the valve clearance on cylinder number 1, and on the inlet valve it's not right. It's not off by loads, but the clearance should be between 20 and 25, and is that micromillimeters or whatever? Anyway, that should be the clearance, but it is only about 15 on that one. So I'm going to check all the rest of them and we'll see, maybe, could that be what is having an effect? New pair of PJs, and we're ready to discuss the results on the valve clearances. Now, the long and short of it is that basically quite a few of them are out, but they're not really out by enough to show to account for the problems that I'm having at the top end. So we can see here in this extremely well produced Top Gear style clip that basically this is the front bank, so closest to the bulkhead, and this is the rear bank, closest to the exhaust, back of the car, front of the car. And you have the cylinders here, they're all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The valve clearances, these are the exhausts readings, and these are for the inlet valves, exhaust valves, inlet valves. On the exhaust valves on this front bank, 3 of them are out of spec. They're supposed to be 0.30 to 0.35, and they are 25 and 25 here. And here the inlets are supposed to be 0.20 of a millimetre to 0.25 of a millimetre, and 20, 20, 25 are in spec and the 15 isn't. On the rear bank, there's a lot more of them that are out of spec. They're all out of spec apart from one. However, they're all out by just 0.05, which really isn't that significant. The engine will still run okay. This one is out by 0.10, which is a bit more, this exhaust valve, but still not enough to account for the issues that I'm having. So regardless, I am going to get all those up to spec. I'll do it. I'm here. I might as well. It's going to be fiddly. I've never done it before, but the actual cam lobes actually go onto the shim itself, so you replace the whole shim. So I've got to work out the actual shim thickness that I need. I've got to figure out getting hold of the special tool to do it, and so on. But it is something. It's worth doing, and when I find out what else is wrong, it'll probably make it run a little bit better, but that's not the issue. So the mystery continues. At this stage, I think that I'll put it all back together, do the shims, do everything else, run it again. I'm going to check compression again, because I hadn't checked it since I bowled the car over. It could have got worse, but you know, it's always had these issues, so I don't think compression's going to change that much. If that's it, then I am at a total loss, and I guess then it's going to be a case of going up to see Ian and see if he can figure out what is going on, because I'm just running out of things that shouldn't work or don't work, really. One of the benefits of doing a job like this for no reason, i.e. when I didn't find the cams that are mistimed and I'm now having to do the valve clearances, but that won't make it run any better, is that you get to do little jobs like this, which I've been looking forward to. I've cleaned these up, partly in the bathtub, and I've got some enamel paint, and I'm going to give them a good clean up, and it'll make the engine look a lot nicer. Look at that! Just one coat and already looking 10 times better. So I did actually look at powder coating, but somebody who's done it warned me against it because the whole thing gets powder coated, including the mating surfaces, and it just doesn't work very well. These had already had some paint on as well, so getting them polished was just going to be a bit of a nightmare, so I've decided to go down this route. I've taken the shim out from cylinder number 1 inlet valve, so the cam lobe acts directly on this shim. That's how you adjust the valve clearances, and you can see this is pretty good. There's a tiny bit of wear on the back of it, but I've measured it. It's a 4mm shim, and it is maybe 3.99 on the back there, where it's just worn down very slightly. So pretty good, really, and right in spec for this kind of engine. Now, that number 1 cylinder here on the inlet is supposed to be 0.20 to 0.25 of a millimetre of clearance. With this shim, it is 0.15, so I'm going to get a shim which is 0.10mm smaller than this, so 3.90. This will bring the clearance to this to 0.25, which is bang on the upper range, and will keep this healthy for years and years to come, because essentially all it's going to do after that is just close back up. So I'm giving it maximum clearance within the specified range, and it will be fine for a long time. It's just a real shame that it's not going to help in regards to making the engine run any differently, really. I don't think it will, but we'll see. This is the tool that I bought, £70 worth. There's actually more from most places. £70 worth. You use this bent screwdriver to force down the shim and the bucket. Then you use this on the side to hold the bucket down, and you can pull out the shim. Now, rarely will you have seen me so pissed off, but literally this is just an instrument of torture and totally incapable of doing the job. I'm so pissed off. Basically, this is just, it's supposed to be 2 prongs so it holds either side of the bucket. The bucket, it's like a 2mm edge you're supposed to get on this and then keep stable so that you can pull out the shim, and it's just not happening. 2 hours I've been trying to get one of the shims out from the back. I am so angry. Can't believe anyone is selling this as a valve shim tool for a Ferrari. Super Performance do sell it, which is why I bought it. I didn't buy it from them, bought it on eBay, but you cannot do the job with this. I'm so furious. So yesterday in the end, Anton, my mate who works at Middle Baden Garage, came over in his amazing Fiat 600, which has Dino con rods in it and a straight cut first gear. It's a really cool little car. Anyway, he came over he gave me a hand, and between us we managed to get I think it's just 3 shims I needed to get out of the back bank, luckily, and we managed to do that. And today I've developed a bit more of a technique and I can get the shims in and out. It is really fiddly, it is difficult, and that is the devil's tool, but I have done it. I know what I need now, so I will order the necessary shims, get that done, then put it back together. One of the things I mentioned in the title of this video is my new car. Well, I'm not going to tell you yet what my new car is, or if it's replacing anything or anything like that. All I'm going to say is that in this video there is a hint about what my new car is, and just see if you can figure it out. And there will be a video on that in about sort of 7 days or so. And sorry there's not more in this video, but everything you've seen here has taken me a long time, and I didn't want to leave it weeks and weeks without a video, so this is it for today. I promise you that for the next video I will go and see Ian. I know I said I was going to do it on this video, but as you can see I've been in the thick of a lot of stuff, so you know. And also have a quick look at these cam covers that I've painted. They look absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you can. I'd really appreciate that. It really helps my channel. And also subscribe to my Instagram here. If you want to message me and so on, Instagram is the best way possible. Thanks all. See you soon. Winning? I don't know.